Oh, look, a watermelon. Is this you when you're trying to figure out if a watermelon's ripe at the store? Well, join me today as we learn about the cultivation of watermelons and how to choose a perfect ripe watermelon. So today we'll firstly delve deep into the refreshing world of watermelon cultivation from the beginning to the end of what goes into harvesting watermelons, and lastly teach you about the art of selecting the perfect ripe watermelon. So watermelon cultivation typically begins with the selection of a suitable site and the right time, which is typically mid-July to mid-October. These fruits thrive in warm climates with well-drained soil and ample sunlight, such as one of the countries being Brazil. And a quote from Manuel da Costa in his scholarly journal published in September 20th, 2023, he states that the watermelon plant is of great social and economic importance to Brazil and to many other countries as well. Farmers also carefully choose the right variety based on factors like climate, soil type, and local market preferences. Once the site is selected, seeds are sown into the ground and the fields are fertilized. According to Thomas Saw in his scholarly journal published in 2020, he states, "It is a common practice among watermelon growers to fertilize at least once during the growing season. And lastly, diligent care is taken during the germination and early growth stages." So now that we've learned about the first and vital steps that go into starting watermelon cultivation, we'll now move on to learning of the final and equally vital steps and the harvest of watermelons. As the watermelon plant matures, they undergo a meticulous process of pollination and fruit development. Pruning is also a practice utilized by many watermelon growers. According to Irwadi in her academic journal published in 2023, she states, "Pruning had a significant effect on the watermelon plant. Farmers often employ techniques such as hand pollination to enhance yield and ensure the production of high quality fruits. Adequate irrigation is also crucial. Finding a balance between underwatering and overwatering is what farmers have to do." And according to Thomas Saw in his scholarly journal published in 2020, he also states that during the growing season, growers irrigate at least once per week. So now that we've learned about the final steps of watermelon cultivation and watermelon harvest, we'll now finish with how to choose a perfect ripe watermelon at the store. So choosing a perfect ripe watermelon is an art that involves more than just tapping the surface. You start by examining the watermelon's exterior. Usually a uniform shape and smooth texture are good indicators of proper growth. The underside of the watermelon, where it rested while it was growing, should have a creamy yellow spot, which signals ripeness. And according to Maki Yazawa in her article published in The Real Simple on July 17, 2023, she states, "As much as you want to eat a watermelon all year round, the best time to purchase the fruit is during the peak season, which, as mentioned before, is mid-July to mid-October." Also, next is to give a gentle tap on the watermelon. If it produces a deep resonant sound, like a low drum, the thud would indicate that the fruit is bursting with juiciness. Additionally, checking for a dull finish rather than a shiny one also suggests fully ripened watermelon. And for a more precise assessment, press your finger into the watermelon. If it's a slight give, it indicates ripe. If it's a little too squishy, it suggests a little bit more, a little overripe. So Today we learned all about what goes into watermelon cultivation, how to choose a perfect watermelon. We first began with learning about the beginnings of the watermelon cultivation, then secondly learning about the last and the harvest of watermelons, then finally learned how to choose a perfect watermelon at the store. Thank you for listening.